Good evening. This is Empower, the program that focuses on people and workplace. I'm glad that you're together with us, and the Lord has been good to you and to me, and that is why we've met again. My name is Beatrice Chuchu, and last week we were discussing about faith and work, and I still have my guest, Paul. Paul, please say hi to us.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Paul Kitemu, a business management consultant, a capacity building expert.
Wow. And we're going to continue from where we stopped. And last time we said that whatever we do it for God. Now, Paul, you do capacity building.
Yes.
And we said last time that wherever God has kept us, He's kept us there as a field or a mission field, so that we can be able to continue with the work of ministry. Because all of us cannot be pastors on the pulpit and do that. And we say that wherever we are, that is what we do. So today, I want us to look more, to incline more on capacity building. And why we do it in organizations. And as we do it, are we still fulfilling what God expects us to do as people that have been entrusted with other people? So let's start. What is this capacity building?
Capacity building is equipping someone or organizations with the right skills, knowledge, and attitudes that are required in order for someone to fulfill what they're supposed to be doing. In the Bible, I may not pick the exact book where it says equipping the saints for the work of the ministry. So I would say I also equip workforce for the work of the organization. And remember, our work is blessed. So as I equip people to deliver what they need to deliver in the organizations, indirectly I'm also fulfilling that, equipping the saints for the work of the ministry.
And that links to what you were saying last week, that when we get opportunities in any business or any organization, then we need to be equipped.
Yes.
And who is responsible for this equipping? Is it me as the employee or also my employer?
It's actually all the parties involved. There's a part that the employee needs to play.
Yes.
There's a part for the employer. Granted, there are people who just keep blaming the employer. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. Yet, what they are lacking is something they can actually fix. As I said last week, that when I started working, I was at a certain level, and I realized I need to equip myself with more knowledge and skills. And so I went back to school. And I said, to date, I'm still in school because I need to equip myself to be relevant in the marketplace.
That is it.
So there's a place for the employer. There's a place for the individual to equip the person.
Okay, that's very interesting. As an employee, for using your example, you're able to see the gap, or you're able to see, for me to go here, this is what I need to do. But I still find in organizations, sometimes people are not very clear what I want. And they tend to just be comfortable, or maybe they do something that they don't actually require for that job. So what do you think causes this confusion? Okay.
What causes this confusion is, one, if you're working to pay bills. So, and wherever the money comes from, you're okay, as long as you have a paycheck at the end of the month. And so you find it doesn't matter your output. The only thing you focus on is that one-time pay in a month or in 2 weeks for those who are paid bi-weekly. But then if you go back to what we were discussing last week, that you must be relevant, then you must look at the assignment that God has given you through your employer and how effective you are in delivering the outcome that is called for. And so if you're not delivering the results, that's where you check and say, what am I lacking? Because you must be effective in whatever you do. There's this quote that says, if you're a sweeper, sweep until the heavenly angels will say, there was a sweeper here. And therefore, as a Christian, as an employee, check whether when you're sweeping in whatever you do, whether you are impressing the angels first. And so if you are not impressing the angels, check, is it my way of holding the broom, or it is a broom that needs to be replaced, or things like that. So you must endeavor to be relevant in whatever you do.
And that brings the aspect of sometimes we are not able to do what you're supposed to do. Maybe sometimes we don't have the skills. Not that I'm lazy or I don't want to do it, but I don't know how to do it. So I need maybe to be trained or to be guided on how to do that. So I need to identify also that gap as Beatrice and know that this one, seriously, I don't know how to do it. Before I bring in the employer.
You evaluate yourself.
Yes.
Because there are several reasons why someone is not able to achieve results. One, you don't have the competencies and the skills that are required. Or two, your attitude towards what you're doing is not aligned.
Yes.
Or three, you're actually misplaced. You're gifted in this direction and you're being told to do this.
Yes.
So once you isolate, you will actually know whether you are the problem or the job is a problem or your organization is a problem. But at the end of the day, you need to go home saying, I did what God demanded of me to do.
Okay, beautiful. Now, let's go to the employer in this capacity building.
Yes.
Because sometimes, there's a lot of expectation from us as employees that the employer need to train us, they need to have a budget, they need to ensure we are well trained. And most of the time, that is the expectation that we have. Even when you go for interviews, you'll find people asking, okay, do you train people? Do you have opportunities for, such? But sometimes employers may not understand the need for this capacity development or capacity building amongst the employees. What do you advise employers as regarding capacity building?
One is to be aware that we are living in a very dynamic environment.
Yes.
The skills that will give us the job could be obsolete in a few days. They are not the skills that will keep us delivering. And what gave us yesterday's results is not necessarily what will give us tomorrow's results. And so what I would ask employers is to look at where they envisage to go. What are the skills that are required to take us there? Do you have that kind of skills within your workforce? If you don't have, then capacity building comes in, the training part comes in. Because again, you don't always want to go looking for the skills out just because you've not equipped those who are already in your organization.
Yes.
Because again, you have a culture to sustain.
True.
And therefore, again, you cannot assume that you gave someone an axe to go and cut down trees and you expect them to cut the same volume of trees year in, year out without sharpening the axe that you've given unto them. So it is important for employers to always check that their employees are aligned and they are relevant to where the organization wants to go.
Okay, that's a good point, but I'm just thinking of an employer or a business owner who may not understand how to check, how to be sure. So is there a way that someone can be helped to know that these are the skills that I need? Because sometimes we start businesses and you get people to do things. So for you, you're assuming things are running. When there are gaps you don't really know is a training gap. And sometimes even they come up with training programs which are not relevant to the business. So what advice would you give an employer who is stranded in such a situation?
It's just to look at the effectiveness of your workforce. If you find that you have this number of employees and the output is this, you must check whether it is in tandem. Because you could have X number of people, but the results or the output is less than the number of people. And these people are always there in the workplace. They are really working very hard. They are sweating, but the output is not as high. So you check how fast are these people delivering the results you want? How comfortable are they in doing what they are doing? If you find a mismatch, then either there is misalignment or they are lacking some competencies that you need to equip them with. Unfortunately, many employers, many business people, they think training is an unnecessary cost.
Yes.
But it's a matter of time. If you don't train me as an employee, at the end of the day, I'll be frustrated because I'm not seeing results. And you might end up losing a good employee just because you didn't empower them to deliver that which you're demanding of them to deliver. So it is important to check the effectiveness and the efficiency of your workforce and see whether they could be lacking in some skills.
Okay, and I think also sometimes we have, you see, for example, when you bring people on board, maybe when we hire people and we bring people on board, and sometimes maybe even the hiring process was not clear, and you're not very clear also the skills you're looking for. So you brought on board people that may be lacking some key things that they were required. So I'm looking at the relationship between all this process, the process of acquiring talent as well as capacity development or capacity building. Because if I bring in people who don't exactly understand or they don't have the key things that I need, then I need to realize that I'm lacking something. But also it can be a failure from the start because it wasn't clear. And I find sometimes employers don't even know how to come up with this role requires what? Like what in HR we call job analysis. You're able to look at the job, look at it, what does it entail, what skills are required, the competencies and all that. So that you bring in someone, you already have the basics, then you can also develop this person.
Yeah, Beatrice, I think some mistakes the employers do is when all they want is the papers.
Yes.
We want a beacon, and that's the end of the story.
Yes.
But tell you what, the beacon may not be what you need.
Yes.
You need the skills, you need the attitude of this person, and you also need to align this person's passion and dreams.
Yes.
Because unfortunately we are suffering from a lot of unemployment, and so many people will come looking for a job, but all they want is to pay their bills.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate that you will place this person who was meant to be there, you place them here, you get frustrated, they get frustrated, but at the end of the day, you're incurring a cost.
Yeah.
So as an employer, when you're looking to fill a position or you want to recruit someone to deliver certain results, don't just go by what they say in the interview. Again, we've made a lot of mistakes during interviews.
That's true.
When people are this bubbly and I work under minimal supervision, I am gifted, I think outside the box. But once you give them the job, they actually don't even know where the box was. They go back to the box. And you wonder, where did I go wrong? This person seems like they can deliver. So you have to have a number of parameters. There's someone who doesn't have that beacon, but they have the right thinking, the right skills, and they can actually stick and give you more results. So it's a combination. Papers are good, skills are good, exposure is good, attitude is key. And the reason you're coming to work, if you're just coming to pay your house rent, then you can as well pay the rent from other sources. But here we are looking for someone who is coming to take this organization from here to that other point.
Beautiful. We need to take a break. That's a great discussion. Thank you so much for working with us and listening to us, watching us, and we are grateful that you're learning. And we believe that as we continue to engage on this capacity building discussion, as we look at ourselves in the mission field where God has placed us, then you're going to make a difference wherever we are. This is Empower, Beatrice Chuchu. Please don't go far.